So welcome back to Med Audio. This might be one of the most exciting headphones I have tested this year. Let me ask you a question. Is HIFIMAN one of the biggest headphones manufacturer, or at least in the top 3? It is something I have asked to myself many times. Why? Well, first of all, the catalog is massive. They build headphones that are comfortable, versatile, but most importantly, HIFIMAN keep innovating. They dare to do things no one else has tried, especially with the Unveiled series, where they introduced exposed driver for the best sound quality possible. It's a bit like when Apple launched the iPhone, right? In a market dominated by Nokia. It changed the game. For those who don't know what is this technology or how it's working, HIFIMAN designed a simple magnetic cover you can remove after listening and put it back on for protection. This method improves airflow, reduces unwanted reflections, and lets the driver breathe, resulting in an even cleaner and more open sound. Difference is real and you can hear it. And today we are going to take a look of the HE1000 Unveiled. Really thanks to HIFIMAN that sent it to me for this review, which sits right below their flagship, the very expensive Susvara Unveiled. This is high-end territory and I can't wait to see what it brings to the table. I hope you too. So please, really important for me, I would really appreciate if you can hit the like buttons and take in consideration of subscribe to the channels to support my work. On the technical side, the HE1000 Unveiled carries over 2 of HIFIMAN flagship technology: nanometer thickness diaphragm and stealth magnets. The overall build has also evolved. Gone is the wood trim of the HE1000 models, which in my opinion gave them a slightly warmer and more organic look. The new versions with the full metal design feels more, definitely more modern and premium, but also a bit colder in character in my opinion. What do you think? Personally, I miss the wood a little bit, but the brushed aluminum finish is undeniably sleek and elegant. At about 450 grams, it's not exactly a lightweight headphone, yet thanks to the large suspensions, headband and the soft plush ear pads, the comfort is excellent. The weight is well distributed and even during long listening sections I found it surprisingly easy to wear. Of course, this is a premium product and coming with premium accessories. In the box you will find 3 detachable cables with terminations of 3.5mm, 6.35 and XLR. But not only, you will get also an illustrated book with beautiful explanations and details about the technology inside. Unfortunately, there is no hard case as we saw with the Arya Unveiled, which I would have really liked to see at this price point, especially for anyone planning to travel with these headphones. Key specs are also really interesting. Frequency response 865 kHz, impedance 28 ohms, sensitivity 95 dB, make it, as we will see, not particularly hard to drive. So compared to the Arya Unveiled is a clear step up in build and material. Before jumping to the sound quality, let's speak a little bit quickly about the setup. For this review, my main headphones, amp and DAC was the brand new Loxjie X9. I already did a full review of it. It has quickly become my reference headphones amplifiers for many reasons. It really delivering everything I need, all-in-one solutions, DAC headphones amplifier, plenty of power, really clean power, with both low impedance and high impedance headphones because I have both of them. It has an amazing transparency, soundstage and imaging, and it's packed with modern features like automatic parametric equalization. Now I want to say that with the HE1000 I tried the automatic calibrations, but I didn't like it, and honestly I don't think that is needing any EQ. These headphones sound out of the box really fantastic. Beside the Loxjie, I also tested the HE1000 Unveiled with HIFIMAN own EF600 amp. And just so you know, I've got a full comparisons review of EF499, EF500 and EF600 coming very soon. So stay tuned. And now let's speak about sound quality. At first listen, the HE1000 Unveiled can feel a little bit deceptive. At low volumes, vocal and instruments tend to sit slightly further back, giving the impressions that these headphones is more reserved. But once you bring the volume up, opens up and come alive. The bass was another surprise for me. Straight out of the box, it almost felt like there wasn't much of it. But after about 20 hours of burn-in, the character completely changed. Low end become more punchier, dynamic and authoritative. And it's a good reminder that these headphones need, at least I had this feeling that need a little bit more of break-in. One thing that really impressed me is how much revealing the HE1000 Unveiled is. I actually had to switch from optical input of the Loxjie X9 to USB, become more engaging, showing just how transparent and honest these drivers are. Before testing, I was worried that these headphones could be maybe compared to the Arya Unveiled more bright or fatiguing, right? Because some manufacturers tend to do like that just to give you the idea that you are purchasing something more high-end. But in reality, it's nothing like that. The highs are refined, delicate and silky, with all the details that you expect from an high-end headphones like that, without any distortions, harshness or sign of sibilance or sign of fatigue. Is absolutely stunning. And then there is the Soundstage. It's massive, a true reference class, wide and deep, with laser sharp imaging. On certain tracks like for example Mare a Mare by Chloe and Vasilena Serafimova, these combinations of a huge soundstage, pinpoint effects and impactful bass create an experience that honestly is unforgettable. It's one of those moments where you feel completely immersed into the music. Another strength is that you can keep turning up the volume and the headphones never seems to lose control or become overwhelming. Instead, it scales beautifully, staying smooth, clear and effortless. General versatility is another standout, whether it's rock, metal, classic, you name it, or even low quality recordings. I love to watch NPR on YouTube, for example, and the HE1000 Unveiled honestly does something special. It almost feels like it upsamples the music, separating vocal and instruments in a way that makes even such MP3 recordings more enjoyable and more organized. NPR it has a really beautiful recordings, right? But it is MP3 unfortunately, but the HE1000 Unveiled is giving really the best. Everything just sounds raw, realistic, with just the right amount of textures and grain. But if I had to pick an highlight, it would be the drums. The attack on the toms is lightning fast, the punch of the bass drum is powerful yet natural, and the decay is smooth and immediate. It's really addictive. HIFIMAN really nailed drum reproduction with these headphones, making both technically impressive and funny to listen. Overall, the HE1000 strikes a perfect balance between massive soundstage, pinpoint imaging, impactful bass, refined treble, and a lifelike instrument presentation, delivering emotions and a fully engaging presentation. To totally understand the value for money, you know guys that on these channels I love to do side-by-side comparisons when it's possible, of course. Unfortunately, I don't have or I never hear the older HE1000 models, so please don't ask me how they are compared to the headphones because I don't know, but I compared the Arya Unveiled with the previous stealth generations and I can definitely say that the improvement is there. So I'm really confident they have applied the same kind of improvements here with the HE1000. Running a quick frequency response between the Arya Unveiled and the Arya Stealth with mini DCP. Remember guys, I just do basic frequency response with a lot of smoothness just to understand the difference in the tonality. I don't care about small variation. I'm sure you will find expert channels for this. And tonally, in my opinion, is very closer. The main difference is that the HE1000 shows a bit of roll off in the very top end above 16 kHz, while the Arya stays slightly more extended and airy in this region. And personally, I prefer the HE1000 Unveiled rolled off because to my ears sounds more natural, delicate and refined. Where the HE1000 Unveiled pulls really ahead is in the mid-bass and the mid-range in my opinion. It has more punch, more authority and feels slightly more dynamic when you push the volume. The soundstage is also a touch larger, with an overall more convincing sense of scale. The mids come across with stronger contrast and the treble feels not only more detailed but also more even and coherent across the spectrum. In the end, I gave to the HE1000 a solid 9 out of 10. Where the Arya Unveiled earns a respectable 8.5 out of 10. So the difference is not massive, but it's there. Another interesting comparison I made it with my Sennheiser HD800S, where recently in my review of the Loxjie X9 I showed how much this amp can improve the 800S thanks to its automatic EQ features. And this process will take you really 1 minute. Just search for the 800S curve, apply it and you are done. For those interested, I will let the parameters also in descriptions down below so you can try it at home with an external software if you have it. Here you can see the frequency response before and after EQ with the 800S. More bass, less trebles, and the headphones suddenly transform into a true S-tier performer without losing any of his magicals, vocal, mid-range and sound stage. Handling this extra bass boost without distortions and without any problem. Now comparing the HD800S directly with the HE1000 Unveiled was actually a bit difficult. In many cases it was hard to choose between the two. For rock metal, I lean toward the HIFIMAN, mostly because of its stunning drum reproductions, fast, punchy and addictive. But for vocals, the HD800S still holds an edge, in my opinion, with its liquid, smooth and highly refined presentations, where the HE1000 can sound a bit more raw and with more grain presentations on both vocals and instruments. Both deliver an impressively large and extended soundstage, but in different way. The HE1000 tend to place instruments further away from your head in this massive soundstage, creating a more expansive feel. Where the HD800S in the other end plays instruments and vocal more closer to your head, yet thanks to a clever sort of reverb feeling, it can sometimes give the impressions of an even bigger stage than the HIFIMAN. Personally, I'm not a fan of the equalizations because if you don't have instruments like the Loxjie, for example, I found it to be challenging to have good results in a short time. It will take you maybe a lot of work. So if you have something like Loxjie X9, I think that with the 800S, really, as I said, you can elevate it to S tier performance. For everyone else who preferred out-of-the-box ready headphones, the HE1000 Unveiled is simply more versatile and ready to go. Really plug and play without needing any adjustment. In the end, I can really recommend the HE1000 Unveiled. I really had fun with it. It's a truly masterpiece of engineering. What impressed me the most is just how fantastic it sounds with any genre, from classic to metal, and even with low quality recordings. It somehow managed to do miracles. And for anyone skeptical about the magnet cover, so exposed driver design, I have had the Arya Unveiled for almost a year now and I've never run into any problems, if this can help. That's all from me, Medaudio here. If you have any questions, please drop it in the comment sections down below. Hit the like buttons if you enjoyed the video and take in consideration to subscribe to my channel. See you soon. Ciao, ciao.